Hello and welcome to this episode of No Blasters with me, Kieran Bartlett. Today's guests are Lisburn comedy legend Alan Irwin and Stranmillis comedy stalwart Ronan Linskey. Used to get on my school bus to Stranmillis. I don't know where you're from, to be fair, but anyway. Today's episode, I would like to tell you about our Patreon over at patreon.com/NoBlasters. This is the home of No Blasters Extra Time, which is a podcast we release every Thursday, which is packed with even more FIFA and Mortal Kombat than these Tuesday episodes. You also get pre-announcements of gigs, pre-sales for gigs, discounts for gigs, mate, there's everything. You also have like 2 years nearly of content sitting on there. You've got musical comedy in the Noodle Bar. You've got the live streams that we're doing once a month now, great times with pizza and people, mainly pizza, and then you've also got our live shows, all our specials go out there as well. It's a fucking great time. For as little as £3 per month, get over to patreon.com/NoBlasters. A great time. Today's episode, as you can see, I haven't just brought this, is sponsored by Doogie's Goodies. Up the hoods. This is a great time. This is a gluten-free, massive jammy Joey cake. Now, you can get them with gluten, obviously, if that's what you're into. But Doogie's are doing cakes like these, and this is like a birthday cake-sized one. Doing loads of birthday cakes. You can get birthday cake with your picture on it or a picture on it. You can get birthday cakes in the shape of figures, like numbers and whatever. You can get this size of cake in like a white sponge with cream. You can get a chocolate French fancy if that's what you want to see. To be fair, Doogie's next time, sort me out with chocolate French fancy. Says gluten-free stuff. I'm not interested. But also get over to doogiesgoodies.com if you want to order a cake like this. You can get it in as little as 48 hours. It's brilliant. We love them. They love us. If you can imagine it, Doogie's can bake it. You can get this. You can get this in like a lemon cake as well, which we had for the 100th episode. Absolutely sensational. So get on over to doogiesgoodies.com and check it out. This is a great time. Moving it in there so it doesn't fall off the table. And also just because I want to look at it. Now, today's episode, lastly, is also sponsored by manscaped.com. Manscaped.com provides the absolute premium, very best, the ultimate in male below-the-belt grooming. So I've always said it should be called pubesaway.com, but they won't listen to me. But if you're going over to manscaped.com and you're buying stuff, use the code NOBLASTERS20. So it's the word No Blasters, all one word, and the number 20. I'm writing it backwards for you and everything. NOBLASTERS20 for 20% off and free shipping. I highly, highly recommend the Performance Package, which is like you get like a nice wee soap bag with like a pair of monks. And like you get like the Lawnmower 5.0, which is like this ultra sleek and waterproof razor for the private areas, the VIP lounge of your own body, and then the you get the Weed Whacker, which is for your nose and ears, and then you get ball deodorant, ball toner, ball wipes. They're all important. So I highly recommend that package. If you're just getting one product, I highly recommend the ball deodorant. Change your life today. Go over to manscaped.com, use the code NOBLASTERS20, 20% off, free shipping. We love them, they love us. Read's done in only 8 minutes. So, see when you complain about that, by the way, in the comments. Yes, do you live in my head rent free? Yes. But shush. Do you know what I mean? Because without the reads, without the cake and the buzzy, there's no me. I'm not sitting here, all right? Or I am, and I'm losing my house over it. No.
We'd be here without the cake.
You should be here.
Yeah, we'd just be us and the cake.
To be fair, our fees gobbling up all that. You know
That's
what I mean?
it,
That £4.50 sandwich I had.
I know the boys are talking about submitting receipts for food. This is where we're at in the comedy game now.
We may get some of that, you know. I was a strange juxtaposition of sponsors though, like shaving your pubes and cakes that are like covered in cream, which you can imagine. It's just,
no, because
it's not a good combination.
You wouldn't want to be doing that.
Yeah.
You wouldn't want to do a Manscaped over a Doogie's. You know what I mean?
Any baker's like, although you did say they can do a cake with anything you can imagine.
Also, not specifically Doogie's, like just don't do it over any cake.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's
Well,
not
you
just
do it over
Doogie's.
a cake at home if you do whatever you want in your own house.
I can't do it in Doogie's.
Don't be, if you're a baker out
over
there,
a Christmas cake or something.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
it's-
You've got your fruit cake, right?
yeah.
apricot jam usually.
Yeah.
I happen to know that's what a lot of people use.
And
then a wee marzipan, and then some people use royal icing, but other people will use what do you call that? Like fondant. And then some people will ice it with pubes. To be fair,
I will say this. I mean, far be it for me to ridicule pube grooming because I'm all about it. But
all about it. You heard it here first. All about pube grooming. Alan Irwin.
Remember, when the canvas is this ugly, you have to get the right tools in. Do you know what I mean? So. But I'm like, it's not the time of year for ball trimming. Do you know what I mean? I'm like, you need to grow it in for the winter.
I don't say that. The sponsors.
I know, yeah. The sponsors.
Yeah, but I'm sure they have settings. I'm sure.
Winters, Manscaped.
You want to be beach ready in the summer, and you want to be cozy ready in the winter.
I keep mine like a Bonnie Tyler in the winter. It's very. Yeah. It's atmospheric nearly when you look at it,
Manscaped are all about global warming. They're like, this planet better heat up. We want more or less pubes.
I enjoyed when you said about I would describe myself as a damaged canvas, previously painted. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's like look, this actually fell out of the van on the way here. So if you want it, it's half off.
I think
the painter started and then went nah.
I'm like a water damaged one. Swollen in certain areas.
Sort of black weirdly. Yeah.
So you're from Lisburn.
Yeah.
You're one of the few people I know who you like Lisburn, don't you?
I don't know. The thing I always say on stage is that it was like growing up inside a beige cardigan because it's just like it's just nothing. People think of Lisburn as being shit, but it's not shit. It's not good, but it's just nothing.
I've never been a fan,
But you're an out blowing.
I know I am. I'm. Do you know what? I'm a blow through, mate, because I've blown into Lisburn and now I'm out the other side.
Are you? Where are you now? Anymore?
Further out.
Fucking
further
traitor.
Out. I don't like to give it away. Some people know where I am. Some people.
Oh, you told me. I know.
Yeah.
I mean, that's sort of Lisburn.
It is.
Watch it on the train.
I like how you say Lisburn as well.
Lisburn.
You give it that hard S. I've slagged people for
Lisburn.
Lisburn. Yeah.
And then I don't know, mate. I've lived in it for so long, but I'll say this. I would never go out there. Like, I would never.
Well, there's nowhere to go.
Remember you ran that comedy club and they just rejected it instantly?
Oh, you did that.
I did that gig.
Yeah, you did. I booked you for 25. You did an hour and 8 minutes.
That's what I mean. That's here.
Fuck me.
Do you know what? At that time as well, it's 10 years ago. That's standard.
You knew. Yeah,
see if I'd known, I'd have booked for your acts. I'd have lost less money on the fucking gig. You know what I mean?
You knew the bar.
You didn't say, I did 3 times what you booked me for, I want more money. You're just like, whatever.
Because I don't do it for more money. I'm doing it because I have a very deep psychological need.
Well, that's it. Yeah, definitely at that stage we weren't doing it for the love of it because that was a fucking grim gig. Even the name, like, it was in a bar called Hags, so I called it Ha Ha Hags. Like,
that was that era of comedy where you just stuck ha ha or lol on anything.
Yeah.
Like people are like, here's a poster, it's a microphone laughing.
The chuckle hut.
It's just lols at and then whatever, or somewhere laughs back, or stand up for.
We were talking about this actually. I'd love to do like an exhibition of comedy posters because some of them are.
Do you remember Alan Gervins or something from down south? That was lol, like RD lols or like
RD laughs,
Dundalk laughs or something.
So the way he had a template, you just put the town name on it. But like it was so loud and busy, and
I've rarely promoted, and definitely like. Whenever, like in that era, I wasn't doing any booking at all, right? But I got asked to consider booking a gig in McCracken's, which was the bar that I was playing music in at that time. This is when I first sort of started out, and I happen to know that McCracken's is built on, it's in Joy's Entry, a very historic wee part of Belfast there, like to do with like the newspaper industry and also the 1798 rebellion and all, but it was like a thing about.
Oh, here we go.
I know. Bring him in.
I thought this was all about FIFA.
I know. You like Lisburn, don't you? Here, what do you see? What do you see me swing this?
And so it begins.
I was reading up on the button X, not on this.
I'm playing a wee through ball. A wee cross over to fucking Presbyterian free Ulsterism, right? So anyway,
excuse me, I'm Anglican. All right, back off. Back off. I'm a conformist.
Anglican's basically like diet Catholic, isn't it?
Oh, we have all the fun, but none of the guilt.
It's
like,
Oh, you're okay, right?
You get to wear a wee robe and all, and be like, "Well, hey," but it's black and white because it's staid and Protestant at the same time.
Do the other ones think you're decadent and wild?
That's
that sort of
staid and Protestant is here. Name me your next special. But anyway, the what do you call it?
It's also a good description of Lisburn as well.
It is. So like,
stick that in your advert, Lisburn.
So like this place asked me, it's built on the site of the old jail. So like they literally, the store where we used to keep our gear was like the old jail, Great to see a historical room in Belfast being used to like fucking hold a couple of PA systems and like busted beer kegs. But anyway, and we were gonna start a thing called Jailhouse Comedy, but I did the poster for the first gig, and obviously at this time, like you're booking like the only acts, you know, like I think this is 2010,
Right.
so like I was gonna MC this gig after doing about 7 of my own shows.
Open them with 45 minutes.
Yeah, I'm gonna do, lads, sit down. I'm gonna do this opening hour and a half for it, and then I think I had asked Shane and Mickey to do it, and they were both gonna do it, and then it never happened. But I still have that poster that I made, and mate, it's a scunder. Like, I mean, I do you know what? I will try to find the poster. I know I have it on the computer somewhere. It's fucking scunder because I made it with like Word.
Back
So
then nobody knew about Canva or anything like that. And nobody had good headshots.
Was that pre-emoji time almost?
Oh,
because like I know a lot of posters obviously fire the big laughing emoji
laughing
ever,
cram
but that
one,
was like
balls. But
Microsoft.
You had the
It'll be the
you had a
O
big
in
psychotic
lols.
mouth sort of or something.
Yeah.
Or, you know the clip art little men that were like
Yeah,
holding
yeah.
up a letter or
But
whatever.
I remember doing one down south where someone covered it in like loads of laughing lips, but one of the laughing lips was just the Rolling Stones logo. It's like that person's not laughing.
That's mental. Yeah, he's just fucking loving it.
He's
And
like,
Mick Jagger's, they're famously
But,
litigious, so
yeah,
careful.
absolutely.
You know?
They the what do you call it, that gig though, the poster was, do you know, I know what I did for the poster. I got a poster of, or a picture of like a, you know, like a jail cell, like an American fucking Shawshank cell.
like Supermax.
Through the fucking the bars. And I inverted the colour.
Oh,
What do you
Artistic.
want
maybe
to
that's what they
do?
did with
Oh.
maybe that's what they did with the Rolling Stones logo.
And there's a type of writing. There's a type of writing called Chiller, a font called Chiller,
Oh, I know it.
which
Yeah.
has like, it looks like stabby.
Oh yeah.
Jailhouse Comedy.
Yeah.
And then pictures of me, Mickey and Shane taking on like a fucking Nokia. You know what I mean?
That sounds relatively tasteful.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know, like
not you know, the the O in Jailhouse should have been an emoji. Do you know?
Oh,
What
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, big.
But even like
Yeah.
the people who do the comedy posters, sometimes you look at their other work and they're like graphic designers who do music gigs and stuff,
Yeah.
and they look great. And then they go comedy. They go like one I got sent was like a microphone with Groucho Marx glasses on. You're like, what do you think comedy is?
the amount of times
This guy's
people,
still falling over or something.
people
you know?
just take a picture of me. There was a picture of me that went around for a long time. There was like a famously bad picture of me in my like. I say famously, I mean famous within the confines of my own life. As like, that's the worst. photo of me
That was
ever.
really weird when Trevor McDonald was reading that out in
know,
the
yeah,
news. That
it's
fucking
like-
picture of Kieran Bartlett.
Yeah. Oh mate, fucking rare. Like, and it was on every poster though for years of me basically going like that, and I'm like, don't do
I
that.
remember that.
I think I know it.
Yeah, it's just fucking awful. Like,
No, I have headshots like, but the I did a gig.
why?
I did a gig on Sunday. Oh, why? I did a gig on. Look, I tell you, I maybe stayed in Protestant, but I know how to manage my checkbook. You know what I mean? I can afford them. So I did a gig on Sunday, and the guy he found a photo of me from like 2013, and I'm like, people are going to be like, who's that? Not that young pup, obviously, because I looked 42 then, but like, he'd be like, where'd all the hair go? Like, what's happened?
you've had a stressful week since the poster came out. That's fucking.
Had a full meltdown.
He doesn't know how to manscape. You know,
That's
just
what-
shave it.
Oh man, I love it. Full circle. That's what we've done there, lads. So here, when did you start? You started not that long after me.
I was October 2010, and you were just a few
Yeah.
months
February
after.
2011. Yeah.
Fuck.
so-
So that's like about a year after me, and then that's only
Yeah,
so like
a few
me
months.
and
It's all
Wood-
around
And you can
same
see the
time.
trajectory we've all.
Yeah, we're all the same. I mean, yeah, we also we plug Manscaped, but just in life.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Or
stand
like-
outside Vegas with that kicks lovely. They go, all right.
You're like, did you get 20% off that? No. No, full price.
So I started the same day as Woodsy.
Yeah.
We were in the
Fuck,
same
really?
gig. Yeah, and
you
then
started the same gig.
same gig. Both did the PAV that
Yeah.
night. And then, so I think Paddy McDonald was a couple of weeks after me. Geddes was a couple of weeks before me. So it was
Yeah.
kind
Oh,
of like,
Geddes only that. I thought
Geddes
that-
was
A
maybe
lot
like
of
that
people were
summer.
starting at that time. There was like
Yeah.
a real like
Yeah.
like in that year.
And here we are 13 years later. And
When
it's
was
fine.
Matthews? Was Matthews around that time as well?
He
Must
would
have
have
been
been
like,
about your time.
about
I think
then,
Matthews was
yeah.
around my time. That's
I think
you're
he
right.
was
I
about
think Matthews
your,
was
but
about
maybe
like-
early 2011. So
yeah,
like,
big
it's
chunk.
a lifetime ago.
A big chunk.
I started thinking about some of the new acts coming through. I'm like, what age they were when I started doing stand up. You know what I mean? And it just bums me out.
The one that bums me out the most is the fact that Willie started stand up about fucking 9 years ago, and he's still only like 17.
I know,
Yeah.
it's
You know what I mean?
ridiculous.
We
Like,
can't.
what was it I was thinking about the other day? I was like, Magic George, right, turned 50, and I was like,
Fuck.
And we didn't-
right.
And we didn't.
Are
we
you
didn't,
serious?
We didn't celebrate it.
No, he must be 49 or 50.
Yeah.
And I was
George
like,
is 50.
Yeah, and do you
Yeah.
know what's mad about that? I worked out that whenever.
Sorry, I know I looked at the camera there, being like,
Well, you said was it that thing that you said when I
this was
started?
the formula that I used, right? I went, when Broden McGeehan was born, George was the age of Kieran Franco. Like, that's a fucking
Oh,
mess.
Yeah,
my
I know when you
God.
said to me something like I'm now the age George was when he started stand up
Yeah.
or something. You know what I mean? Like that's
Like,
all come.
I look at all these guys. Like, George, so, like, Fraser was.
So we were looking
When
at
I
them
started
thinking,
stand up was 37.
Yeah,
And
that was
you're
it.
37.
Yeah.
I'm 37.
There
yeah.
you go.
Are you? I thought
Yeah.
no, you were 2 years younger than me in school.
I'm
How'd
the
that work?
youngest guy
one
here.
year, just 1 year.
Who would have predicted that?
Yeah.
34,
Are
baby.
you born late in the year though in the academic?
I'm in
year,
the
are
middle.
you?
I'm January. Yeah,
Aye, so you'd be 38 in January. Aye.
yeah. Yeah, I'm rolling.
I'm
with that.
37. Is that what? That's right.
And I'm a wee pup.
Because Fraser, see when Fraser started and he was going under, I remember when he started, like so when he started he was going under the name Morgan Hurst, which I just thought was his name. So when he started going under Fraser Robb, I remember going, why is this cunt changing his name? I was like, I'm going, has he said something as Morgan Hurst that he's trying to get away from or something?
Yeah.
I remember when he started, I immediately loved that. Like, I immediately loved his set. Like, when he started,
The real sad man living in his
Yeah.
parents'
he's back with his
spare
parents
room.
because
Our
of
own-
the fucking crash.
He lost his job, lost his house, had to move back in with
So
the parents.
funny.
Like our own Eddie
That bit
Pepitone
about
sort of,
them
wasn't it?
banning a grave for Christmas
Oh,
because like,
mate.
you'll be with us in
did.
death as well.
He did a bit one night. I maybe did it again, but I saw him do it one night. About eating a lasagna sandwich.
Oh,
from
yeah, cold
Tesco.
lasagna.
Whole
mate.
lasagna that was out for the World Cup,
Oh, it was
And
so
yet-
and
and
a
good.
slice of the Tesco value lasagna
Yeah.
inside 2 slices of white
Which
bread.
did sound amazing, you know.
did. Well,
but he
it
says
sounded-
it was a sign when you're eating that at like 11 o'clock at night, alone in a flat. Things have gone wrong.
Well,
but then James
fucking
Acaster called a special 1999 cold lasagna. I hate myself, and Fraser was like, "It's all coming back."
What was your first gig like?
Pav was good. I was actually I did the classic. I have this theory for most people who stick at it. Either your first gig or your second gig's good, and the other one will be shit. Right? That's
Aye,
that's
yeah.
my thing. Now, you probably hit the ground running.
No,
rock
no,
and
no.
roll, but-
My I would say my fourth gig was a fucking boot in a cock. I haven't done 3 quite good ones.
Well, and it's good. I think it's healthy. You need
I
it.
feel though it was more like to do with the fact that there was like nobody there and
Well, that was a recurring problem, as you know.
and
yeah, those were some lean years. Like,
I
Still
wanted-
happens to us quite a bit.
Mate, it was in Lurgan on St. Patrick's Day.
Oh, fuck
So
off.
I'd been gigging
Is
music
that the one that had
day.
to leave early, like to start the car and go?
oh, the one that
no.
Marcus had to like.
Paddy
No.
McGahey was driving and had to start the car because Marcus was calling them all cunts. There was going to be
No,
a row.
Yeah,
no.
that was Sean Haggerty's gig, I think. Was it?
Yeah, well, Sean was running this one
Oh,
to be
okay.
fair as well, but it wasn't that night. It was so I had done my first one was in McHugh's in January, then I did the Pav in February, and then late February I did a voice box or whatever. it was
Oh,
called.
yes,
Marcus's
in
one
the
fucking-
gallery
in the-
upstairs, yeah.
What do you call a place? The Safe House.
Safe House Gallery. That's up.
So we did
Where's
that.
that up in your? That's up
Down the
from
street
from the John Hewitt.
You know,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
mental. I don't know if it's there anymore. I feel like we're remembering Bell. It's just like, I remember when the city
isn't-
hall
I'm not
used to
gonna
be
beat
a
these-
Lennon
These
Hall.
podcasts are going to be used in the future to draw maps. People are going to be like,
I'm not going to beat the fucking like old man rap here talking about buildings that don't exist
And
anymore.
what about that fucking? Did you ever do the one? I gigged it once, and then I think it was gone pretty soon after. Not because of me, I don't think, but the Shisha Lounge on Lisbon
Oh, I never
Road.
did it,
No,
but I
no.
remember that.
And
yeah.
it was
was
like
it being used as like people were
it was an
smoking
actual-
shisha
yeah,
while
it
you
was
were
an
performing and
actual
stuff?
Shisha Lounge.
Yeah, yeah.
No seats.
Yeah.
Just cushions and fucking.
Nice.
Fucking George Harrison on the sitar in the corner,
yeah,
just like
rings of silk everywhere. But
wipe clean.
I think you're mixing up like countries there.
it was.
No.
Is shisha not Turkish or something?
Yeah, but I just feel like George Harrison probably loves all that. He's dead now, obviously, but
Just anything around that area.
George, I love shisha.
George.
I can't do.
George. Pass that pipe there.
So I
I don't
remember.
drink anymore, just shisha.
So I remember like doing in there, but like, so my fourth one, sorry, so went and did, this was on St. Patrick's Day. I specifically remember that me and my mate Johnny did about fucking 3 music sets that day, like during St. Patrick's Day, you know, start one at like 11:30 through to 1:30, and then it's like you're doing 3:30 to 5:30, 7:30 to 9:30, and then I didn't drive at that time. My sister came and got me and drove me down to Lurgan to do this gig, and there was about 9 people. Like definitely, I would say more than 5, fewer than 10. Yep. So 8 or 9, right? Sitting in this wee room, or potentially 6 or 7. Right?
Sorry, I don't want to blow anybody's mind there, but there only are 4 possibilities.
Off, right?
You got the bar stuff now. Yeah.
And the what do you call it? The mic was like it was like attached to a ghetto blaster.
Oh, jeez.
You know? Yeah. And I remember just going, oh bollocks. And at that time I didn't use a guitar or anything, so it was just like stand up the way regular stand up.
Proper.
Crutchless stand up.
Not
as opposed to crotchless.
Just doing it the
not cheating by showing off your other
Protestant by the book way.
No, showing off your other talents, which people applaud because they go
with like GCSE art and being like. And then
that person's put some work in.
Like mine might be shite, but it's honest, you know.
Yeah, there we go. You've made no effort, and it shows.
That's actually after what I say after sex as well. Yeah. It might have been shite, but it was honest.
Oh mate, that gig was fucking rare. I remember coming out of it and going, I should probably just do music, right?
Because you had another thing.
Yeah, I was doing music.
Were you doing music like the way people would do in pubs, like doing covers and stuff like that? Were you
I
started
that, to be fair, but I discovered music in Belfast.
Yeah, you were like, you can play music in a pub.
Yeah,
and people
will come, right? But no, so we were doing that, and then I was in a band as well. So like we were like recording stuff and putting it out and all as well. And then stand up was kind of taking off, and then about a year after that, I started doing, or maybe a year and a half after that, after I started stand up. That's when I started doing my PhD, and then 2 years into that, I took a break. It was actually another Sean Haggerty gig that opened the way to a comedy hiatus for me for a year and a half. Where
in Lurgan,
it was in. I want to say Barbacca.
We were in there last night.
And Sean
is it still there?
No, it's Franklin's.
But Sean was mentioning his gig, funny enough, last night. Yeah, Sean
really?
was like, do you remember? We're like, yeah, we do.
So he had me down, right, to come do that. And I was doing music straight after it, right? And in another bar. And I remember I came down to do Sean's gig, and basically just no one was there. It was like 2 or 3 people. And he goes, here, I'm going to just call this because it's going to be rare. And I went, right, no worries. And I hadn't any other comedy booked at that time. Yeah. And I just didn't book any.
You went that
for like literally about 2 years.
So really it wasn't that the gig was so awful, it just didn't happen.
The gig didn't happen, and I went, I can't be fucked leaving the house for this anymore. Because if I didn't have music straight after it, I was away out that night, plans made, and no gig. So I just went, and that was happening a lot at that time. We're like,
we're always like, we're quite boring to all the new acts. We're like, you don't know you're boring.
I know, no, so am I.
They think like Killer Darns the other day. Remember we turned up and we saw the tickets. We're like, oh, it's only 15. They're like 15 about 10 years ago would have been really.
And actually,
really
then we got another 15 on the door. So we were at like the green room.
But then 30 people go 30's quiet. You know, like it's not really.
But like,
I was thinking about the other day that when we used to do the PAV. Would all sit around, so the doors would be say 8 o'clock, and then would say on the thing showtime 8:30, and like 2 or 3 people would turn up, and
quarter to 10. You're sort of going, 9 people.
You sort of looked at those 3 people and went, we're going to start a bit. We're just waiting on more people to arrive. Then you'd wait half an hour. No one would arrive. So those people have waited an entire hour. And just, they hate you.
Also,
go,
making it worse.
Are we not enough?
Back then, the PAV started at 9:30. So it was like 10 o'clock before the first act.
The headliner used to go on like midnight or something on a Monday.
You would get like, would get like,
I wonder.
You would get like, say, 6 or 7 people in, but they'd be like, here's 2 sitting over here. Yeah. There's 1 on his own there.
Who wants to do comedy?
There's 2 here who are with one of the comedians, right? And then you'd like throw like our Marshall or me out to go over and go, here, sit in the front row, will you? For fuck's sake.
You know, this is awful. I'm hungover, and this is giving me genuine trauma.
I thought there was thinking about
I was like, I'm getting anxious. But like,
that's the fear we all live in.
But maybe about a year, 18 months ago, something like that. Luke McKibben, that runs the PAV now, obviously he pulled it because there was only 14 people, and I was nearly sick. Yeah, I was like, that is literally the first 4 PAVs I did combined.
Yeah. Although actually, weirdly, my first PAV was completely full.
That's right.
It was completely full, but it wasn't me. It was someone else was doing.
I remember his first gig because.
Oh yeah, the front 2 rows. I did all right. The front 2 rows laughed like quite a bit
because he kept.
I wasn't talking into the mic.
Away from his mouth.
Oh,
right. I had this thing when I started where I would sort of sway nervously.
Yeah.
But at the first gig, I was swaying out of time with the mic, and like, so people were getting like a sort of word every. They're like, wait.
And I remember walking in, and I was just I ever so often be like, my dick, and, but like I remember we walked in. There was the comedians' table where everybody's sitting bitch and ruin the lives of young acts.
That's where like the bad laughs would come from. Maybe
they were like,
joke.
But I remember I walked in and there was like 300 sheets of yellow legal paper on the table with him just going.
That was the table. If you're on the stage, it's down the back to the left.
Yeah.
And you just like you'd say something, it would eat shit. And then a split second into it eating shit, you just hear somebody going, yeah! You're going, ha!
Yeah.
Because you're just fucking eating shit so much.
I am at the point, I don't know about you, I've seen so much comedy now that actually my favourite thing is watching somebody. I don't like watching somebody.
Not a painful death.
I don't like somebody who is new.
And they're struggling.
But like,
I love somebody who I know is funny.
Yeah.
And they know they're funny.
That is good, actually.
It's
good.
Because you know they're actually going, like, I've done this before, it's fine.
I emceed a gig the other week for him. And because he was going to music, he's like, can you MC this? I know I'm running up. But I says, yeah, that's fine.
God, that was a bad
And
night.
I was on stage and he texted me, and I have a smartwatch, right?
Yeah.
So my phone,
he
went, God love you, you're earning every fucking penny. Like,
It was painful.
And do you know what I did earn every penny?
You did.
I did a
well.
weird gig last night. I did a gig. I did a formal, a school formal.
Right. What school?
Who's booking you
say?
for a school?
Yeah.
Not like that. But like
the Royal School of Armagh.
Oh, okay.
the principal there
20
was
grand
my
a year.
history teacher.
Really?
My wife went there as well.
Mental.
Yeah.
Oh, mate.
So,
Mental.
Did she?
yeah,
I don't know
well,
what
I always
just
forget
said
she's
about
from Armagh. She's so normal.
It's great. It was weird because listen, the pupils had booked it, so the school I don't think have anything to do with the formal. It was weird. Mate, see Gen Z. I'm tuning out from you. I'm done. I'm. You don't tune out from me.
Gen Z don't use Manscaped. They're useless to
Oh,
you.
that's it. Here, do
they
you know
not?
why? Because
They're pro pubes. I don't know.
pubes?
It's because
The men?
they are just wee pubes. If they use
They're a living
Manscaped, they just
pube.
disappear. Yeah, mate. I couldn't
Those old
believe.
pubes are living, aren't they?
I couldn't
no,
believe.
hair's dead, isn't it? Hair's like dead.
These are the do you know what the problem is? Because our podcast is about a specific thing, we don't get to do this.
That's why
now it just went to
was
This
great.
is why they cancelled our Manscaped ad. We had a semantic. We had an existential. Lads, we only want a 3-minute Manscaped ad.
Do you ever think you know somebody too well?
Yeah. Oh, mate, it was fucking. Do you know what? There were so many different wee moments during that gig. It was like a half hour, right? And to be fair, they ran it on time. Like, you know, sometimes when you go to do like these sort of function things, like people come out and go, "We're running 45 minutes over," and I'm like,
and they mean an hour 15.
and I'm like, "Are you?"
I know. I did a corporate gig last Christmas where they were like, "We're just about to have the dinner now." I was like, "I've been here for an hour and a half."
Yeah.
So I just went, "You know what? I'm going on now," and I did it during their dinner. I was like, I
It
don't
melts
care.
me. It melts me so much when people do that, right? Because I'm like, here, just fucking if that's happening, you have my contact.
Yeah.
So text me, email me, say fucking come down an hour later.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I'm not just sitting because it's not my fucking night out, you know. Anyway.
Or have a dinner for me. There's nothing worse
That
than
was
doing
it.
dinner. They don't give you a dinner.
To be fair, I think people expect that of me, so I can't do that. People do. People are like, come on down, we'll stick you a big feed on. I don't need it.
They're not going to get you a plate of food.
You know what I mean?
We'll get you.
They're like, we'll give you half a chicken.
It fucking. They said, "Oh, you'd be surprised how often it happens." Anyway, I always just go. I mean, here's me sitting here with fucking cake beside me.
I still can't get over that cake.
I don't-
My eye keeps thinking that's like some other guest.
Yeah,
Like
this
a
is-
sentient being.
It's just like a
he
fucking
gonna
normal
pipe up?
sized French fancy to me. Do
You know,
what I
what
mean?
I like about that is it's either a giant cake or you're tiny.
Yeah.
I love the idea
It's
that
also
you're-
reminded me
you've
of
shrunk.
it's reminded me of a documentary I watched years ago on BBC and I with Dan Gordon, and it
Right,
was about
right.
bakeries, right? And he chatted to this guy. Me and my mum, we watched this documentary about 5 times in our house because
Why is he doing it?
he
He's
interviewed
an
Dan.
actor.
I know Dan
He's an
Gordon's
actor.
actor. He's like, at least get a baker or something. But
Oh
he chatted
my
to a
God.
guy who all day all he had to do was dip. Jammy Joey's in the jam and then seal them together, and that's all he did.
Oh
and
my
he says,
God.
how long have you done it? He's like, about 10 years. And he goes, every like 7 months or 8 months, I have to take a couple of months off because it gets a bit much.
Oh my God.
PTSD. If he's like, when he gets home, I don't want to see any coconut. I don't want to see any jam.
I will say, when you look at that, like a Rorschach test, like Freud would have a fucking thing down. It's really disturbing, actually. It's like something out of a fucking Lovecraft novella. You know?
Yeah, it's like deeply sexualized cake.
You know one of those things you see and you instantly go mad?
Yeah.
Yeah, probably
it's so delicious.
probably like the jam dipper guy. Anytime fucking Town Call Malice comes on, he's like, the jam! Oh!
Sometimes when you look into the Jammy Joey looks back.
Oh, mate, I can't believe it. That's someone's job is just doing that. But see, whenever they took us around the backstage and Dougie's Goodies, mate, it's fucking brilliant.
Right.
Like, people are doing, anyway, it's not what we're here for, but people are doing all sorts in there. Like
Hold on, what?
I know. But no, they're doing...
That's not whipped cream at all.
They're doing like... They have bowls of have I talked about this? They have bowls of clippings right now. My dad
Like toenails?
No, like clippings of cakes. Like the edges.
I meant that sincerely.
I know.
I know. I wouldn't call it a clipping.
My dad used to talk about like. I mean, I say this as if this was like his main thing that he talked about, and it wasn't. But like, he used to talk about going into bakeries when he was a kid, and for a penny you could get a big bag of clippings.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it was like you just get like you get like the end of a Paris bun.
Like the way you get
the
batter
broken
bits and the chippy. Yeah.
And people do broken biscuits. It used to be a thing. Like, we go give me a box of broken biscuits.
So we were up walking around it, and the guy that owns it was like, "Here, do you want some of this?" And I actually went, "No." And he goes, "Do you not?" And I went, "I mean, I obviously deeply want it, but I know that if I start into that bowl of free bits,
it's over.
I'm gonna
Diabetic coma.
I'll fall asleep."
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But anyway, what the fuck?
Oh
were we on about?
you're night at the formal.
Well, somebody got that from the first gig, but somebody gave
It was mental. Like, so like one kid tried to heckle me, and I think I've ruined him until he's about 45.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, he
He looks like me now.
I ruined him. He slabbered back. I fucking doubled down. He slabbered back. I essentially dug him a grave, right? And then I literally at one point went, "Remember this for the rest of your life. Remember the night when you were a wee dick and tried to take on a professional comedian and got fucking spanked in front of all your wee mates."
At your school formal. Like,
yeah, and I was like, people will remember this until you're dead.
Yeah.
When you die, they'll talk about this.
Is there film
And
footage?
you've
Did
got-
anyone film the whole set or anything?
I don't know.
Yeah.
And you've got
some of
six
the
months,
kids
you've got
probably
6 months of the school year.
Yeah.
left
I
as
know,
well.
yeah.
And that is
See, that was why I normally at a corporate or something, I'll come out and do a wee bit and talk and do a bit of crowd work for 5-10 minutes. At this, I sort of felt like I couldn't do that because I didn't really want to slag anybody.
You want to humiliate a teenager?
I was asked to specifically slag one person off who was on their formal committee who they were accusing of spending money that wasn't his, right? So I thought I'll slag that person.
Embezzlement in the
I know,
Royal
yeah,
School?
embezzlement,
like, everyone
right?
gets their articles. These are just cake clippings.
so slag that cunt, right? And then a couple of people shouted out that they got slagged, but this guy wouldn't fuck up, and I had to ruin him. But it was like, and then somebody else who I don't want to identify them, but they do something very impressive. Somebody shouted, "Oh, he does this," and it's like, it's an impressive thing that the guy does
He puts the
outside of
jam
school.
in Jammy Joey's.
That's what he does, right?
It was primary school. It's like
And
the
I
guy that
remember,
flips his
I
eyes
actually
up.
said to him, I went, "That's impressive. Careful you don't peak at 18, though.
Yeah.
Have a plan to get to 40 in case that doesn't work out." You know what I mean?
That's
The
just
Jammy
good
Joes.
advice.
Yeah.
You know, that's sage. Like,
Do you know what I mean?
Don't
That's
make
like-
the same mistakes I
But
did.
I mean, see, Gen Z, like, they're sitting on their phones like that, filming you.
aye,
They're
all
not.
of them.
They're not watching you. They're just
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that. And then,
Because like I was at this, you know.
yeah, mate.
And that's all that matters. It's like, I need to document
The,
this.
the curation is more important than what they're curating.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But I'm not, like, they're dead inside because their whole life has been like, let's scroll.
Yeah,
forever.
online. Yeah,
Do you know where Kevin said that exact thing to me last night? They just all they do is that.
yeah.
You know, that's why. I remember reading
Sorry,
that.
guys.
I remember reading an article one time about like humans are evolving, have really strong
That's freezing.
thumbs
Is that right? Yeah.
because humans are evolving. It's really cold.
Do you know what it is? It's too cold to be enjoyable, but not cold enough to be an iced one.
Ah, yes.
So it's just
it's,
like
it's
spit.
room temperature.
It's just like coffee spit.
But yeah, humans are evolving, have really strong thumbs because like
Really?
we're using our thumbs for everything.
I've
Strong
heard-
thumbs, weak minds.
I read a thing that we're evolving some sort of fucking
Oh, the tilt
some
forward.
horn here from sitting like that all the time.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah. it's
I
not
tell
fucking-
you, often when I'm evolving a horn, I don't know.
Hey, this guy. This fucking guy.
13 years and that's what
So
it's come to.
what was your first gig again? Sorry, I nearly
Mine
held
was
your
in
hand
Pav
wrong.
in February, and yeah, like I said, a lot of people there. Mickey was on, and I remember chatting to Mickey just before I went on stage, and he sort of glanced. I was like, "Is this?" Like he said, I had about 30 pages,
Yeah.
and then I kind of went to Mickey. Does this look all right? I don't know. Like, What do you want me to sit and read your script?
I definitely had too much for my first.
Well, I had that vibe of like I had to have
You
every...
ran over? No.
Well, actually, I
that-
famously...
don't-
Genuinely
make it hard on yourself.
7 minutes it was booked for. Now I've said before, I didn't know the rules. I didn't know that it was a do your 7 and fuck
Yeah.
off. I thought it was like
7
if
minutes.
you can give us at least 7,
Yeah.
and I think I did like 28 or
I
something.
used to be very
Well,
bad. didn't it?
Adam Loughlin did that at the Empire.
Yeah.
He was booked for 5.
Oh, we
he
did someone come on
22.
and, someone come on and lift him off on us or something? Or?
No, that was a different
that
thing.
Rana?
There was a guy that was down at his arse, and Jake O'Kane came on and took the mic off him.
Yeah.
He's like, I can't.
Oh,
and then I believe
it
he
was
said
like he came on, sort of was like it was nearly like an arm.
he came
round.
away, brought him
Just
off,
came
and
out.
then
Just
went up
came
on
out.
stage and went, I bet you think I'm a fucking genius now.
Oh my god! I was there one night when someone ate shit hard and was meant to do 7 and was off in 2, and Jake came on and started out with like a, this is fucking hard, getting up here takes a fucking big set of balls to get up here and do this, and then very much finished on it. He was fucking shit, don't want me, and I was like, that guy's slashing his wrists
There's
backstage.
a-
Like,
Although
you
there's
know
that
what I mean?
weird thing where when you're doing badly, sometimes you do more.
Guys are like,
You guys aren't enjoying me well.
Yeah, I
Here's
some-
more.
If I'm eating shit, I sometimes double down on like, I'm sticking to this.
This is
hard.
what they
the
hate
bits
about
that
me.
are,
you know.
yeah.
No, I remember as well hearing about. You remember Christian Talbot used to do stand up?
Yeah.
Well, Christian was
Does he
doing.
not- does he not do
Yeah,
it?
he's done a few years.
Came
now.
back
He came back
once.
briefly.
Yeah.
He did one PAV, I think, last
Right,
year, but
right.
didn't keep going. But he was doing Red Raw in Edinburgh, in the stand, and a guy got up to do his first gig, and he got up and just blanked. Right, just couldn't remember anything, and he went, "I'm sorry, I really don't know what I was supposed to say," and he went off, and the MC came on and says, "Look, tell you what. I'm going to give him because the stand kind of builds in 10 minutes, plus they've lost his set. So he's
Yeah.
like, I'm going to chat to you for 5 minutes. We'll do it again, get him out. You know yourself, this is terrifying. And like, so did all that bit of crowd work. Crowd was roaring, like delighted to have him back. Guy came on, still couldn't remember and left. And you're like, that's it. Like he'll never, ever
No.
even think about doing that again.
That's
Because
mental.
You mean the MC almost
Do you know
should
what's
have
sad about
just
that?
You
gone,
want that story to be he gets up the second time and
Murders.
murders. It's
and
like-
that
and
little
it's-
boy grew up to be
Yeah.
Russell Howard or something like that.
Do you know what's sad about that though? Is like that person could be funny,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
but they'll never.
Well, there's lots of
they'll-
people there's lots of comedians who, you know,
Who aren't
are
funny.
brilliant. Yeah, well, there's
Yeah,
lots
like,
of comedians who are
yeah,
brilliant, and then they have like anxiety or they have like
Yeah.
stage
Yeah.
fright or
there's,
you know.
there's ones then as well who have all the confidence in the material, which
Yeah.
is way more annoying to watch.
Oh fuck. Yeah.
But see, like, because my older brother, not Kev, our older brother Decky, is probably the funniest person that I know. But like, he did. I mean, this is like an open mic night where people were doing music and all. Like, this was in fucking Donegal years ago. Decky got up and was just like, I'm gonna tell like 3 jokes here, and he got up and the first joke murdered, and second joke was like, and the third joke at shit, and he's never done it.
He's
He's
just
never
gone,
done
yeah.
anything again. Now it was like
was a weird
we
night
were
to
on
do it,
holiday
but
and
yeah.
he just sort of got up and tried, and then he's never done it. But he's like literally funny. Like
See, I always thought that about my dad. My dad's really funny, but really shy.
Yeah.
It would never have crossed his mind to do anything like that. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But it's
it
like,
always surprised me that Art Declan never went on and did it like when he was at uni in England or anything. That he never. did
nobody knows
stand-up.
you. You might as well give it a go.
Yeah,
like,
because they did stuff. They did like a comedy thing on the radio
All right.
over there, like a student radio thing, and it was funny. Like you know.
Oh, he wrote something like
No, like I
or-
was like a like
a
it was,
performance?
it was like a no, they were like a
Panel show or
like a
something?
DJ thing.
Oh,
Like, it was
right.
like-
Oh, right, okay.
I,
DJ,
I,
but
I
then
did
did,
that. I
you
did
know,
student radio
funny
as well
stuff.
back in the day
Where was that?
in Queens.
I didn't know they had student radio.
Yeah,
That's
nobody
mental.
does. That's the problem.
That's
the
mental.
listener viewers, the listener figures reflect that. But
The listener
no,
was
I was station
producer?
manager and all in there.
Really?
Like, when I was at uni, yeah.
There was a comedy night, wasn't there? There was
we ran
Queen's
a
comedy.
few comedy
yeah.
gigs and all. But I think it was when you were stopped.
It
Right,
was.
We did
Yeah.
Bar Sub. You know, it's gone.
I
now,
might have
so-
done. Do you know? Because I've only gigged in Queens once, and I think I did it. I did a gig for you in there. It was the night.
Into the sub.
It was yeah. It was the night that I remember specifically being there with Matthews and Woodsy, and George was on, and some woman in the front row was absolutely blocked and would not fuck up.
Oh, I know that. I didn't book that, but I remember the
Right.
gig. Yeah.
I think it was a guy with big chops booked it. He had big lamb chops. I don't know what that guy's name was.
Oh yeah. Well, he's the president of Argentina now, but
So he
Kieran Franco.
he booked us, and if he doesn't do something called General Franco, I don't know what he's doing.
what are we
yeah.
doing?
I know,
Yeah.
but he so they booked us, and I remember this was one of the greatest. I just remember being there with them, And we were drinking, to be fair, like, and I think we were all a wee bit blocked. And this woman would not fuck up. And it was actually really annoying. And George was sort of dealing with her, but then you get to the point where you just go, I'm just going to sort of get on with this.
Yeah.
Because I've dealt with you 3 times.
What more?
Diminishing returns.
There's no more.
And she shouted something, and I just remember Matthews going, "Hang yourself, you cunt." And everyone loved it. And I was like, when he first said it, there was a split second. He just fucking leaned back and shouted it.
Yeah.
And there was like a that. And it was just like...
It's hard to see Matthews being that harsh. You know,
it was...
Boy must have a secret mean streak.
I know, yeah. It was fucking...
I'd be afraid to say that because they turned on me.
I know, because here, that's a risky put down. Especially from
like
someone else in the crowd.
Related one.
We've all seen that where like an MC turns into a heckler too much.
Yeah.
And then the heckler suddenly is the victim and the MC's an
it's
asshole.
a bit,
yeah.
Or like you say, you go out of your style. Like people go, that's not who you are.
Yeah, and you go back to, so I'm a bit of an awkward guy.
Yeah.
You know, it's like,
yeah. So like... So you do Kill Your Darlings now? It's like on Saturday afternoons, isn't it?
Once a month, yeah.
So there's Saturday afternoon
What's
gigs.
it going now? 7 years nearly?
Yeah. We were the first Saturday afternoon gig, weren't we, sort of?
First of the ones
And
going
now
now,
there's 4.
yeah.
Do you know in the Black Box, I have only ever eaten shit. Like,
Really?
ever.
In the big room?
In
doing
any
stuff
room.
Right.
Like,
Really?
I don't know what it is. I actually, like, when people say to me, "Oh, would you think about doing somewhere?" I'm like,
Yeah.
no.
Just have like a...
Because anytime I've done it,
curse.
I think I've done, like... I think I did that gig where we're on the mug or whatever, the Jingle Balls one that I did with Dave and Woodsy and McCann was the only time where it was only all right. Like, it was grand. But every other time I've done it, I mean, like, I've done some weird gigs in it where it's been like, can you come down and present this award show or something? Eat shit.
Well, they are. Like, we did, like, that charity one we did in the Black Box was just bizarre, wasn't it? You know, like, they were like, could you come down and do comedy between a talk about, like, mental health problems and then a musician singing, like, Elliott Smith songs or something like that. And they're like, well, we'll do it between those 2 things.
Are you talking about
a great combination of mental health stuff and Elliott Smith? That's good.
Well, we're warning. We're like, look after your mental health.
We did a gig in Sligo for a mental health charity, and they literally played a video of a mother talking about her son's suicide, and then the MC went, "Please welcome your first act, Ronan Linskey."
I know.
That is a hard.
I mean, I'll tell
jam.
you, there was more than a few feeling suicidal that night.
Oh, mate, see that fucking... See the amount of times where people have tried to... It's always at things like that. It's always at a charity thing where people don't know...
They go, I run the charity, I'll just host the gig.
I'll talk and just say shit and then go, this guy's got to come on, he's got to try and make you laugh. And you're like, cheers for downplaying any sense of show that I have.
Yeah.
The other charity gig we did, we were overshadowed by Goujons, remember?
That's right, yeah. That was in Sligo again.
To be fair, those Goujons were nice.
They came out with a big...
If that's not the name of your next time, overshadowed by Goujons.
They came out with, like, imagine a gravy bowl times 100.
You know,
like, the scale is a French fancy to that, right?
Yeah.
Of goujons and a big trough of garlic mayo. And I was like, you can't, and we weren't going to take a break. I was hosting, I went, we're going to take a 10-minute break. Because I was like, you can't compete with a fucking goujon.
No, get them up there.
Overshadowed
Everybody likes them all the time.
Overshadowed by Goujon sounds like a band I would have had at our school open night. You know what I mean? That's fucking mental.
Yeah, that was the gig as well where we still have never... Robbie McShane, we were out yesterday and he mentioned it to me. He was like, we still haven't been paid for that. It was like 5 years ago. Because it was for the Department of Health.
Oh, yeah, they said we would have to set up a company.
We'd have to register as a company in the south.
To
get
a shell company.
To get €50 each.
Yeah.
Tramps.
They'd overspent on the Goujons. That's what it was.
Yeah. I was just going to say, your fucking money went on garlic mayo. Like, what... So we both went to the same school, right?
We got the bus home together.
We did, yeah. How did you feel about that bus? I loved it.
Like, I thought our bus was great crack.
Our
you used
bus
to do.
is like,
I think
it
you
must
used
have
to
been
do
fucking demented.
Well, I think you used to do songs on the bus, didn't you, and stuff sometimes.
Don't talk about this. Why?
'Cause
you're a wee cunt.
Do you know what? This is karmic justice for last night.
We all saw the
18-year-old phoned him and said, "Make sure you bring that up."
That was the sign of the talent. You know, me and him were fucking around on the bus. but I was just doing like off the wall things with no discernible, and then he was like writing and saying funny,
I would have lifted the guitar out occasionally on the bus, like.
Oh my
He loved
Christ!
Our bus.
That's awful.
It wasn't Elliot Smith.
He wasn't like a guy at a house party, where everyone's like, "Oh, for fuck's sake!"
He's like David Brent. Go and get the guitar.
I know, yeah. Oh, guys, I'm not prepared. The fucking capo comes out of one arm.
Yeah.
It has its own seat with a belt on it.
Oh fuck! It literally did used to have its own seat.
For
That's true story. It
fuck's
did because it was
sake.
massive.
Yeah.
I had this stupid guitar case so
Why'd you just play the triangle? It's more practical.
I got this guitar case that was just like like a normal fucking like a bag, just a bag like. And
Like a hockey bag or something, like a sports bag.
It was a guitar bag, but it was just a bag, like not hard edges or anything. And I remember I had it at the bus stop one day, and a gust of wind came by and fucking blew it over, and my guitar split. My dad had to fucking fix it, right? It was a nightmare, and he did fix it, but it was fucked, right? And then I got a new guitar, and when I got that new guitar, my ma was like, "I'm gonna get you a guitar case," but instead of being like a normal hard case for an acoustic, it was like an oversized big blue pod. It was like
almost
navy.
like for a cello or something like that, kind of plastic.
It was huge. Yeah, it was like that sort of foamy.
So he says you had to take it out. You had no choice.
No, I'm saying it had to have its own seat.
It was bigger than a
And
child.
then you were worried it was getting lonely, so you thought I need to do a wee tune here.
Occasionally it would come out on the bus.
He just saw the atmosphere in the bus turn.
Usually on the way home though, never on the way in.
On the way there is depressing because then you.
I can't remember the bus on the way there. You know what I mean? I can't remember what.
See, but you would have got
Maybe I
off.
just got lifted.
You would have got off early on.
I got off Broomhill sort of.
Yeah, you would have got on it late.
Yeah.
and
Oh,
off
it did.
early.
Yeah.
Because I would have been. There was guys that were on it even fucking longer than I was, to be fair. But I obviously was getting on Blacks Road. But
so I didn't see it turn.
a great
turn out
crowd.
You only got to hear
on
half
us.
his set.
I know, yeah. You only got the opening tunes. Like
Yeah.
you weren't.
You were
there.
like, I haven't even played the hits yet.
I was getting the song parody. That was the days of song parody.
Oh yeah, that was
Here,
like when
that's
Stephen
my
Lynch
whole
and all were
life,
massive.
Yeah.
Oh, mate.
Actually, you were talking last weekend at Kilderdown about the injury you suffered at school.
Oh yes,
Speaking of doing all hits
do you
things.
remember my Rikishi? What did Rikishi's move called? Was it called
Did you seriously hurt your lower back or
No,
something?
my arse.
Your arse.
My bum.
right?
So do you remember Rikishi the wrestler?
Didn't you go
Here.
through? Did you
Yeah.
hold on? Did you go through a fucking window in
Yeah.
the ring corridor?
So we-
Mate, sorry. There's a temp file
Yeah.
in here somewhere. Just going. I've just minority reported it.
So I was
accessed
like,
it.
remember my
That's
year group were obsessed with wrestling. Like you couldn't walk down our locker corridor without someone like spearing you.
Talk about the Aquinas Link corridor.
Yeah,
for a minute.
so it was kind of like we were put into because we were
There's
like
a
Imagine
sentence,
this is the
there's,
school
there's
building.
a sentence no one has ever
Right.
said.
well, we were in the
Imagine
first
this
wave
cake
of
is the
Aquinas.
building,
So
right?
Aquinas obviously was redeveloped, but
Yeah,
we were in
so-
a really old school where
Right,
like
so-
the vibe was it's like a window broke or something. The teachers
On
were like
these sides,
sure,
right?
You know,
3 floors on
Yeah.
this side and on this side.
and you had to go
Science
through
here,
it. Yeah,
Languages here, or sorry, science there. If the Alex is over there, science here.
yeah.
Is this
Languages.
important to the story?
Oh yeah,
No.
yeah. You gotta
Again,
see the
these
map. You
ones-
gotta visualize the map.
These sides were only 2 floors.
Yeah.
But these corridors here linked both sides of the school.
So there's no like classrooms in those corridors.
just
They were
lockers.
just
Right.
lockers.
And it was for 4th years and 5th years.
Yeah.
So if you were in 4th year, you got your locker for 2 years, and then you were in that, and I thought also doesn't matter.
But you had to go down it to get
Those-
around.
think I'm
and
having a
do you know what
stroke.
you wanted? Now, if
What's
you were,
going on?
When you were in 4th and 5th year, what you actually wanted was there was a wee bay on either side.
Yeah.
And that's where you wanted your locker to be, and that's
Yeah.
what I had because they were safe.
Yeah.
See, once you stepped in that corridor, you are talking
like compass
egg
stabbing.
sandwiches,
Yeah.
farts,
Yeah.
compasses.
People would like give you a wee take with a
Fucking
compass.
people taking bus passes and fucking stroking your blazer with
Yeah.
it.
Oh, we used to do that with the dinner
Or
cards.
the dinner
yeah.
cards when they
Yeah.
came in, right?
But and then there was periods where like I think like after lunch you knew everyone was going to be using this card or all the first years and
just
everything.
stank.
So you'd stack up bags
Yeah,
so that the kids
gauntlet,
couldn't get
the
down it.
gauntlet. Yeah, mate.
But it was a wee bit lawless in the sense the teachers just never went.
Nobody went in there.
The
It
teachers
was-
didn't go. Oh, we'll go up and sort that out.
And see when you if you walk through there after, like if you had to walk along a corridor after lunchtime, fuck me, mate. It literally smelled like just opening an asshole
Yeah.
and just going. Like it was fucking great.
To be fair, that I remember like there was a period where we did we brought potatoes in to do a science experiment and I didn't use my
Tubes of
locker.
potato.
Well, I didn't use my locker.
That's 'cause you were always
I
running
just,
late.
I
didn't
just
use mine
carried
either,
I
so
just
did
carried
I
all my
did
books in my
that. I did that
bag.
'cause it was
Fuck
a
my bag.
fucking
or
nightmare.
something.
I did that.
But then so
I used to have
after
a
the
big bit of
science
hard
thing,
skin there. It's still darker there.
I used
anyway.
to throw my big Kangol bag over my back. It was like, but yeah, after the potato experiment, I left all the potatoes in my locker, and then I never opened my locker for about 6 months until this fucking like Triffid. It was like all these like
It's like fucking
Roots are
Jumanji
coming
in your
out.
locker, like, oh, mate.
But yeah, the Rikishi bum thing was because we're all
For anybody who don't know, Rikishi was a wrestler with a huge arse.
He had a big arse.
Smashed
Yeah,
his
big
arse
Samoan.
into the guy's face.
big
Right.
Samoan.
In the
Like
corner.
what is he? The Rock's cousin. or
Rock's
something?
cousin.
Right.
Yeah, so his move, he'd throw you into the corner and then he'd slap his bum cheeks and he'd run at you and jump with his ass. So I threw someone into the door, which had like a pane of glass.
Yeah, it was like
And
that glass with the fucking
the black wire.
the squares.
Yeah, and I like slapped my bum cheeks. You know, there was no consideration of what was going to happen here.
You'd have killed him.
Yeah, I'd have killed him. And I ran at him and jumped with my arse, and he moved out of the way, and I smashed the window. and the worst thing was, it was that glass with the wire in it, so it doesn't.
It doesn't. Yeah, it's like
doesn't go ever.
anti-shatter. Yeah.
So there's just this two big like arse cheek explosion, and there were wee first years on the other side. But then the reason it all went wrong was I went to my favorite teacher, Miss Scally, and I went, Miss, I've just fucking. She was quite young. She was about 24 or something. I went, Miss, I've just broke a window. Like, what do I do? And she went, just go on to class. You know, I'll think. She was kind of sound. She's like, you'll think of something. And then
You'll think of something? What do you think?
So
I'm going to go home and train as a glazier. Like, sorry, a glazier. Glazier's the guys owns United.
Yeah. That's fucking mad.
But yeah, and then so
Did you get done for?
Well, no, this is the thing. I went on to class, and then this guy CJ came into class. Like everyone else was just like, whatever, you know, you broke a window, whatever, with your arse,
And
whatever.
it probably didn't really hurt immediately.
No, it
did
didn't hurt at all. And then so I went on to class, and CJ came in and went, Ronan, do you want to come, like, you know, have a look at that? Basically, you know, like he was like, come to the bathroom, and I
want to
pulled,
look at your hole?
yeah, exactly. He's like, this is the moment I've been waiting for. So I pulled down my trousers, and a big flap, like it was like a 6-inch wound. Hardly any blood, but I think that's where we're talking about. You said if you get hurt
and you get cut really deep, it doesn't bleed.
Doesn't bleed.
Oh, really?
Those, you can see like you can almost
vessels.
see like a layer, like about that kind of layer of fat flapping back around my bum.
Yeah, that means you've cut into the fat of your body, like.
And then so I went to the nurse, and then she put a fucking plaster.
Sorry,
Right.
any memory I have of the nurse in our school wasn't the nurse.
I went to the school secretary.
A secretary who
into the hospital room,
gave
which
you an
was
ice pack when you have a
refiling.
migraine.
Yeah, well, she put a plaster
the
on
only
it.
time I ever went was because I found out in about 5th year that if you said you just had the shits, they had to send you home.
Yeah.
So
Well,
that's why I had the shits twice a week. I did actually, and actually I still do. But
You still get sent home.
But I'm not.
You're working. Like, take the rest of the day
Please.
off, please. Yeah. So
But this time I'm not lying.
this secretary put a plaster on me, and then the principal was obsessed with finding out what happened more than what was, you know, down his
familiar with
medical
this-
history.
This was
A
McLean.
big- yeah. So he stood over me going, you know, what happened? And I said, I think I must have kicked a football at it, and then I must have got my bag and glanced. I must have sliced through my body. This is the fucking weird thing. There's no, my trousers, like I held them at the light. There was like barely a rip in it.
Do you ever just be playing headers and volleys and you slice your ass?
You know things get out of hand. But so he sat me down there for 4 hours. And then I admitted, and then they took me to they went, who's your doctor? And it was my uncle Adrian was my doctor on University Street. So they took me to him, and my uncle was like, why have they taken you to a GP surgery when you've got a 6-inch wound in your body? So that was the agreement my parents came to with the school was, you're not going to expel him, but we're not going to press charges.
Were they gonna?
They were going to expel me and not let me do my levels, or else. And I look back and I go, Mom, you should have taken the money.
Yeah, because let's be honest,
that's
what have you
not
done
a-
with them? Do you know what I mean? What have you done with them?
Is that really? That's mental to think that they would expel
There was
you
some
for
sort
that.
of accusation that I could have blinded. I mean, it didn't.
Well, you
but,
could, but you
know,
also could have killed the guy who
yeah.
moved out of the way.
I suppose I only hurt myself and only.
Who
damaged.
was it? Was it? It wasn't a real fight though. You were fucking
We
around.
were doing because that was the period where people would like, you know, there was a period where people came in with like screwdrivers and they would take the lockers off the car and like.
I
hit
wonder where that
people
was going, coming in with screwdriver.
And then DDT. I thought it was like CZW wrestlers.
Yeah,
Like people were going to
stab
start
in the
like opening
So what
wounds.
year were you? Me in 5th year?
I think it was in
Mohammed?
5th year. Just before A levels because my mum was like,
I read
we've
nothing,
chatted
it was
to
a
the
white collar.
principal and we're like, that was the agreement.
Aye, because you could
And I'm
sue
like,
for that.
do
Like,
you know
I
what?
don't know
Those
what
were-
oh yeah, I could have sued for malpractice.
Those were the golden years of Aquinas.
Before
just,
it went into new
just
school.
before it went to the new
Yeah,
school.
the new school. To be fair, that new school worked for the teachers because everything just calmed down. There
It
was
was-
no
yeah,
more like
it was just
you know,
it was just sedate after
Yeah.
that, wasn't it? Because it was fucking. Oh, I loved the old building.
yeah.
I
know.
loved in there.
We're very lucky.
Yeah, like I have seriously fought. Like there was loads of things I hated about school,
Yeah.
but I actually loved like the crack.
Yeah.
the crack and the vibe in that old building was
Yeah.
brilliant. But I hated most of the shit. I hated most of the actual like. I hated getting to school, and I hated most of the actual like classes.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? Because I thought it was mostly wank. But
Yeah.
but
Well, the good thing,
and that's what you were doing at home as well. You were a teenager.
Because Aquinas was a new
Mostly
school,
one.
we had all really young teachers, so some of them were like kind of sound. Like our
Yeah,
school, our like teachers
I had a brilliant English
pupils
teacher. And
night out we had, which I didn't know. But other people
like
say
on
it's
the-
not a thing.
at
But
the like when you were in 6th year, your
Yeah,
last sort of
yeah.
there was like a pub quiz one.
yeah, you just
And
kind of
then
went
there was
out.
like
you
a
were
night
like-
out at the
you
end
were
of the
sort
year.
of drinking
With
No,
your teachers.
we did the thing
Yeah.
like our teachers would take you for dinner
Yeah,
at the end of but like at your end of your A levels, but they didn't.
the
no drinking,
like
like-
yeah.
I bought
then
Brady.
leave
I
right
bought
after that.
Brady a pint which was like I felt like a boss. Our history teacher, he was a fucking lord. I loved him. I loved.
He was good actually. Yeah.
I loved
Hollywood.
McConaughey. Oh, here, fucking Mr. Hollywood was the coolest fucker because when he was doing duty, he would just walk around. He was always reading because he was a writer.
Yeah.
So he would just walk around, and he could flip a page. I'm getting on like he's James Bond, but he could flip a page. I have small hands. He could flip a page in a novel with his thumb, and he just walk around.
Read with one hand.
Remember he
Yeah,
just used to do
yeah.
that?
And his classroom had that like sort of thing where all over the wall was like art and quotes
Postcards
and
of like
all like so it
postcards
was-
of different books and
Yeah.
fucking movie posters and all. He was cool. Like,
Yeah.
Did you ever read his book? Remember his
No.
book was in the wee restricty bit in the library.
Yeah, no, I remember there was a female teacher who wrote an erotic lesbian
That's
story,
right,
and
yeah.
she kind of had to like publish it under a different name.
His one was under his own name, and there was a scene in it about somebody getting a root in a bath, and it was like a all right, mate, all right, you know what I mean? You fucking
Yeah, we all do it, but we don't chat about it. You know?
Yeah.
And then the opening paragraph of this book is sponsored by Manscaped. If you want your root.
I think that was the name of the book, was Root in a Bath. But, there was
But root ROUTE
Yeah.
because
That
it's
was-
a metaphor.
Weirdly, it was
yeah.
inspired by me leaving all those potatoes in the locker. He's like,
At,
roots.
at fucking. What did you end up doing for A level?
I did English and sociology,
Aye.
and I think no, it wasn't geography. I don't know what the other one. Maybe it's sociology. is what
Aye,
it is, yeah.
but it was like English, sociology, and sociology.
That's
Oh, is that what I said? Oh, fucking! I don't know what the third
No, but
one
like,
was. There you go.
But like, I
can't
remember. Do you know what classes I hated the most? Was like, do you remember doing physics on that middle floor?
yeah.
In there was shite. I was the shittest banter. It was the shittest science rooms because all the science rooms up the stairs, like up the top, all had these sort of cool big desks, kind of like out there. They were big, like octagon shaped ones, and they were all joined each other with like sinks in the middle and all. It was fucking great.
Yeah.
And then these ones were just like fucking big shit tables. I mean, I just always remember the experiments, and the teachers doing physics were bore bags as well.
Yeah. There was one of them who I think he was the biology teacher actually, but he was a proper scientist.
Are you talking about Ray?
And he'd just be like, "You just get on with
R.I.P.
your."
mate. He was a fucking
Because he just
legend.
do his own experiments.
Because he'd be like away off into his wee room doing his own work.
He was
And I'd be like,
literally
get your textbooks out and do your own.
He was literally doing like fucking academic research.
Yeah,
like,
while
teaching A level, while basically going, "Will you stop fucking putting chewing gum under the table, you wee cunt?" And then like turn around.
And he goes, "I've written that in the paper."
He was so dead on. I remember. Do you know what? I have a
That's
story.
right, because he let people just. He was like, I remember my friend Tony used to just go to sleep, and he was like, "Tony, you not interested in science?" He went, "No." He went, "All right."
Is this Tony the
Tony
artist?
Murray, yeah.
He
Who's turned out, you know,
and fucking skateboarder
yeah,
and
yeah.
just coolest
Cool guy,
bastard. that went
handsome
to our
man
school.
as well. Beautiful
Yeah.
man.
Yeah,
Still beautiful.
Yeah.
He
Wears it well.
Ray though. See Dr. Ray. As I say, a genuine R.I.P. What a fucking legend. Like he used to get the bus. He lived in West Belfast. And he used to get the bus home. And Paddy McDonald booked me for a gig on buses one day that was like just.
I
get on-
remember
Oh,
those.
Paddy
yeah.
McDonald.
just get
Yeah.
onto a public bus
Yeah.
and do a gig. And he was sitting there, and I remember going, "You were my A-level biology teacher. Look how this turned out. Bang, bang. Here's me doing songs about fingering."
To be fair, you had plenty of practice playing the guitar on the bus.
Oh, mate.
So
Also,
This fucking guy. Oh,
I love that song about the stick insects. That was great. The life cycle of the newt.
fucking unreal. Well, it's been a lot of crack, especially cycling down fucking the Link Corridor, Memory Lane, mate. Oh my God, I actually can't believe this is probably the first time we've talked about school since we went there.
I'll get the scar out on the Patreon.
Unbelievable. I can't believe that. I was weird though. See, when you said that, I was literally like, I just remembered
There was a broken
that there
window
was
day.
like, that happened.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
I remember our teacher, Miss Dillon, she said I was the second worst pupil in the whole school.
That's
Which was,
mental.
but it was really nice. No, the way she said
Well,
it.
second worst
No, because
is-
when I went in A levels,
the
I
worst?
became. Remember Paul Smith? Remember him? He used to not the
He's
guy.
selling
Not
the
the guy
SSE now.
What year was
he used to
that?
get in
alright?
trouble for doing crowd work all the time. No,
What
Paul
was
Smith used to like. He was in my ear, but he was in the Strand, and he would be a compass stabber. He was like literally, you couldn't move near him without getting your leg. He'd
Why?
just be, like,
Why
jabbing.
can I not? I can't even
Yeah.
picture him.
He was friends with like Nicola and Liam or something like that. Like they were a wee trio from the Strand. You know,
We trio from the Strand.
You know that way we're like.
we just. He would compass stab you and then do a great walk and base. Like, oh, that's fucking brilliant. We trio from the Strand. I can't even picture. I can't. But that's.
She did say to me,
to say
like,
that you're the worst.
No,
in
but
the school
Miss
is
Dillon said it
mental.
really nicely because she went, "You're the second worst people in school, but you're not malicious. You're just an idiot." Like she said, every time something's going on, you're doing it, and you're the last one doing it. As a teacher walks in, like we take the locker doors off the lockers, and then we would like surf down the stairs on them, and like everyone else had done it, and I was taking the thing off as the teacher comes out, and I'm like, it's not me.
I remember, see the year there was guys. I want to say, let me work this out. So, 2 years above you.
Yep.
A load of them would have got our bus.
Yeah. I live
But
near something.
that year, there was another whole crowd of them were in that year that were on the other Lisburn bus.
Yeah.
And they were sort of a bit more malicious,
Yeah.
shall we say. And I remember they came down. Do you remember, like, Paul Alexander was in my class?
Yeah.
So he got that bus, and they all came down.
He played music.
When they
Did
were
he?
leaving.
Yeah.
Hmm?
Did he play music?
No, like football.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
They all came down to our bit of our locker corridor, the wee outside bit, when they were leaving the school a couple of days before they left, and they fucking ruined us with eggs. I mean, like,
Right.
everyone get egged. Now,
Yeah.
I was sort of lucky because I would have stood up at the radiator halfway up the next set of stairs.
Yeah.
And so I sort of they threw eggs everywhere. I mean, the place got absolutely fucking destroyed. 100 eggs, like, and I got just like a wee bit on like my lower leg.
Yeah.
But like Paul got like, I mean,
Like covered in-
Paul's
yeah.
uniform was ruined, like, and we all just sort of like, it happened and the bell went. You were like, double RE, right?
Yeah.
Went to RE. I remember sitting over in Father Grant's room, and the next thing it was like the principal, our head of year, and was like Dolan, the fucking head of like the middle school, like
Yeah,
fourth
yeah,
and fifth year.
yeah.
They all came over. And they started on us like a fucking day's work, like, about this is fucking 12S. These are fucking
Blaming you.
blaming us
For getting egged?
or actually like 11S or whatever, because
Yeah.
we were in fucking fourth year when it happened. And they fucking, and they started on us. And I remember literally going, I was like, they were like, what do you have to say for yourselves? I always remember being like, maybe go look for the people who egged us, because I don't think we egged ourselves.
Yeah.
And they were like, well, who did it? And I'm like, not a tout either.
Yeah.
You have cameras everywhere. Do your, like,
Yeah.
Also, like, it's easy
And
to
we're-
figure out. It's the ones that are about to
The
leave.
ones
And
who
they go-
the
they
ones
go
who
to
are
Paul.
egg free. Yeah.
I remember them going to Paul and being like, why are you, like, because Paul was literally just in his shirt and trousers,
Yeah.
right? Because his fucking jumper, tie, everything was wrecked. And they go, oh, no, you're always at the heart of this stuff. And he was
the
literally,
victim.
sitting there going, they pelted me with eggs, and he pulled his blazer out of his bag, and it was like, right? And I'm like,
That is an incredible impression of an egg. Can
Isn't
we,
it?
just, can we just look at that again? That was, get the action replay. That
There's
was,
the
and I remember our form teacher was like, afterwards was like, sort of said to me, was like, fair play for that, by the way.
Yeah.
Because they were fucking
Yeah.
hated our class. Like, but
Yeah.
that's what I mean, though, for them to say that,
Oh, I should actually qualify. Actually, Miss Dillon was very nice to me because
Yeah.
I was like her wee project.
but that's just enough to keep the nation with me.
Same with Miss basically Miss Scally, Mr. Evans, the PE, Miss Scally English teacher, Mr. Evans, the
He was
PE
dead on.
teacher, and then Miss Dillon all tried to turn me around, and they did. And in sixth form, I was really well behaved. Not like a wee automaton.
In my job, we do a
Miss
thing
Dillon.
where whenever you've had a business case or something, you have to do a post-project evaluation.
Yeah.
And I feel like that wasn't.
No.
But they're going to be like, this project was a failure.
You didn't see it before. You know.
It's unreal.
And then Miss Press actually came.
Your arse healed at
Miss
least.
Press saw me do a comedy gig back in January there.
Really?
Yeah, because she heckled me with
Oh,
the
that's
real name
mental.
of Miss Scally, because I mentioned Miss Scally on stage, and she's like, she's now whatever. I can't remember the. You
that's
know.
mental.
But yeah,
I
she came to see me in the black
met
box.
McCrossan over in Edinburgh, the
Yeah,
HE teacher. She came over and goes, I bet you don't remember me. And I was like, traffic light
Literally.
sandwiches? What
Yeah.
the fuck are you on about? You're burned into my brain forever.
Yeah.
And
A bit of carrot, bit of lettuce, bit of tomato.
Don't even start me about your fucking Troker campaigns. Do you know what I mean? Like, I remember with Moby in the background. Woman. Anyway, it's been a lot of crack here.
Yes.
Thanks for coming in. And
Anytime.
obviously, we're recording this just before Christmas, so happy Christmas.
Yes, you
it's
too.
going out in January,
Yeah.
though. The magic of TV. It's not even TV, it's a podcast, but whatever. Thank
you very much.
And we'll,
Did I
we'll
do all
see you in
those
the next one.
FIFA? I came around to your house the other day to learn how to play FIFA again.
Did you?
Because I haven't played FIFA in ages.
Do you know what it is, mate?
Sometimes.
The hole through the window is better in FIFA. So
Yeah, yeah.
do you know what I
I
mean?
was fucking raging. We drew 2 each. I had 23 shots. he
Here,
had
what about
4.
that goal
Oh,
I
I
scored
hate
where
that.
I slide tackled your keeper while he was holding onto the ball?
And then it
We
knocked out the
watched the
keeper's
re-
hand and went in.
We watched the
And FIFA just allows it.
They allowed it. We watched the replay about 10 times. Right, that keeper was holding on the ball with 2 hands.
Disgusting.
We're
Disgusting.
more Football Manager, man, aren't we? Really?
That's right, yeah.
That's not
I
right.
look. You know what it is? And then my job is mainly looking at spreadsheets, so that's what I do all the time.
I love. Do you know whenever you
Comedy's the only time that I'm not looking at columns and rows.
No,
and even then, I'm separating the audience. Right? I'm kind of filter out the cunts.
the work I've put into Football Manager compared to comedy, like I have those pages at home. I used to get up in the middle of the night sometimes and write out formations.
See
and
if
be like,
your 20-minute set was as good as your Armagh City team.
oh, my Armagh team. My Armagh team's beautiful. Champions League, Armagh. Unbelievable.
It's been a lot of fun, lads.
We'll do that, actually. We'll start a Football Manager podcast. Be very dry. Just people clicking, continue.
The episodes would have to be about 3
I
weeks
know,
long.
yeah, it is. It's a fucking an extreme game. We will see you in the next one.
Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot.
Kieran.
Oh, no.